the good news is we're all learning more about how certain policies do not work, and when you abandon a foundation that recognizes God, and in recognizing God, human nature. Say that a lot, because I truly believe that if you look at the root causes, and we always want to talk about the root causes, like with terrorism, Crane, poverty, yeah, right. No, not the alleged root causes. No, you get to the doctrine. You get to what is used to justify heinous acts in the case of Islamic terrorism and what is being taught in the madrasas. And you deal with that and you take it head on and you look at the Islamist view of the world and what they want to promulgate with a worldwide caliphate, and you say, hey, there's a vision. Here's what we stand for. You can reference the fact, of course, never wrong to do this, that we're based on a Judeo-Christian foundation with our founders certainly understanding that we are fallen versus a theocracy that is oppressive and subjugates non-believers in the sense of, well, giving them dhimmi status. And I'm talking specifically about Islamic countries that embrace Islamism. I mean, we have a case to make. That's when I speak to the issue of life, I say, we've got the right answer. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Well, we've got the right, we just got to explain it. And recognize that you wouldn't hear so much about how bad we were or are, apparently, to those. We're called everything in the book. We're called, I mean, how insulting is it that we're called racists when we don't want to factor in race? We want to be equal under the law. We don't want that to be a part of things. How awful is it? And what does it speak about a movement that has to use scare tactics like climate change to justify a big government takeover of the means of production, i.e. energy? Freedom is it sells itself so often. And there are always restrictions on freedom in the sense of what we do and do not support. But again, when it comes to life and when it comes to the defense of marriage and those that are desiring to redefine marriage and force that, have the state force that on the people of that state, what about those who vote for it? Well, look at the cases and look at the states that have upheld versus states that have gone the other direction and changed the definition. I will say that what's popular is not always right, and what's right is not always popular, and there is a trend going a different way at this point. But we see that trend manifest with those in black robes in the judicial process not recognizing what the people's will is. And remember what they have to do to characterize the debate. They have to make people hate. They have to make somebody into a member of the Westboro Baptist Church. How absurd is that? I mean, as I've spoken to before, that's a hate freak show. Or the KKK if you support voter ID laws. Wow. I always throw in the Black Panthers too, because they're part of that all-star team of ignorance. But that all said, I say that to remind you that no, you're not alone, one. Two, that there's a reason the tactics that are used are being used. And there's a reason that one has to distort a particular point of view as opposed to deal with it head on and honestly. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, but it's a frustrating thing as well.